Looking at the kind of transition that these South Asian economies have made over the last 2 decades, the economic dynamism that's observed on an average as far as South Asia is concerned makes one believe that this is a region that would be moving towards economic integration and reaping the gains of the potential that this kind of dynamism has engendered within the region. If we look at all of these economies, even though they've all gone through the transition in a different mode, that is towards economic liberalization from their original import substitution models, they've all ended up giving the region a certain sense of dynamism, which is reflected in the over 5% plus rate of growth as far as these economies are concerned, till the global financial crisis struck the region. However, if we look at the nature of exploiting this potential in the form of regional cooperation, there is an evident contradiction that's visible in the region in the sense of the countries not having really made good of this economic dynamism. The intra-regional trade within this region is low. India corners a maximum amount of this trade, but as far as India itself is concerned, this trade constitutes a very small proportion of India's total trade. The other economies and the region as a whole, the smaller economies and the region as a whole, has a tendency to look outwards, trade with the extra-regional powers, and concentrate on the region traditional partners in terms of the US and the EU, despite the GFC having struck these economies and led to a slower growth in these economies. There is a continuation of a certain kind of dependence on extra-regional trade, which needs, I think, to be reduced if the region really needs to go forward as far as economic integration is concerned. These are all countries that are natural, that have an inherent natural trading partner tendency, in the sense of being close as far as geography is concerned, close as far as history and culture is concerned, and now given the economic dynamism of specifically India, which is the central economy in this region, it should be easier for the region to integrate itself. However, I think the fears that have confounded this region in terms of the gains of economic interdependence going largely to the larger economy and their own deficit increasing has probably kept them away from this force of economic integration. But since there are advantages of this economic integration, it would be natural and advantageous for all of these economies to go in for economic integration soon enough. And here, the external force that is currently in operation in the form of the implications of the global financial crisis, which has in a different way led to all of these economies looking inwards and forming their own supply chains, will be a newer force to integrate these economies. Thank you. When we talk about the global financial crisis, the changes that have come about on account of the global financial crisis in the global sphere as well as the regional sphere. In this case, if we consider both South Asia and South Asia as a part of a larger regional sphere in the context of the Asian changes or changes in the Asian economy, the implications are very, very sound and very, very positive as far as regional economic integration within South Asia is concerned. The global financial crisis has led to a slowdown in the rest of the world. There is uncertainty as yet in terms of recovery of the rest of the world, particularly the advanced economies, which have been the traditional markets for these economies. Therefore, there is a lot of emphasis as far as Asia is concerned to look for growth impulses from within. In addition to the fact that China and India are acting or are being looked at as the growth impulses for the rest of the world as well. There is the additional force that the rebalancing that is occurring within Asia on account of the reassessment as far as global imbalances are concerned has led the ASEAN to look inwards and constitute supply chains, and therefore look at India in terms of seeking it as a partner, as a trade ally. And this trade alliance that is forming between India and ASEAN, given the kind of proximity that some of the lesser developed economies or smaller economies in the region have with ASEAN, is going to lead to, or can potentially lead to, the constitution of supply chains within the region, which can be very, very beneficial not just for India but also for the force of economic integration within Asia. Particularly as far as South Asia is concerned, we can reap the gains of this by becoming a part of the supply chains that are going to be engendered and engineered now by this global rebalancing. And in this, however, I think the most important point that we need to bring out, which is also essential if we look at South Asian integration within, as well as South Asian integration with Southeast Asia, would be in terms of improvement as far as our own infrastructure is concerned. The performance in terms of logistics is concerned within the region, reducing transaction costs as such for the movement of both goods as well as capital. The capital requirement, that is required, that would possibly be called for as far as supply chain formation is concerned, can be brought in from the more developed economies from South Asia, India being the most dynamic economy in this context. India now having evolved as a major source of FDI outflows from the country, which are flowing out to the rest of the world, marginally so to South Asia. I think the need to improve the overall business economic environment within the region would go a long way in bringing about this kind of a change and this kind of a positive as far as economic integration in the region is concerned.